Everybody's terribly excited about the conception of this CD, I guess. Actually, I am very excited because having been artist in residence at the New York Philharmonic Orchestra since November of 2010, going on until June of 2011, I had the great fortune to introduce a lot of new works and to span a large arch from Mozart's concerti, written in the mid-18th century, to 4 pieces of contemporary music being also premiered in New York. And that is of extreme importance and excitement. Also because it happens with my most loved orchestra, which is the New York Philharmonic Orchestra. It happens with great conductors like the chef, the new chef, Alan Gilbert, as well as Michael Tilson Thomas, with whom I just did the New York premiere of Sofia Gubardoulinas in Tempus Presens. Also present in my Mozart evening, where we played the world premiere of Wolfgang Rihm's Lichtes Spiel, was a wonderfully gifted young English conductor, Michael Francis. And the program will conclude with yet another world premiere, which is Sebastian Currier's Time Machine, also included on this CD. And in the middle, sandwiched, because of the time frame in which these works have seen the living daylight, are the 2 fabulous pieces written for bass and violin. One is the Duo Concertante by Krzysztof Penderecki, and the other one is the Dyade by Wolfgang Rihm. Both have been commissioned by my foundation, the Friend Cycle of the Anne-Sophie Mutter Foundation, for the immensely gifted young bass player Roman Patkoló. He is one of the very few musicians capable of attracting intense interest in the bass, interest from composers who will further enlarge their repertoire. Lichtes Spiel is more, as the title says, a sunny piece, which very much reminds me of Midsummer Night-ish music of Mendelssohn, for example. If you think of Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dreams and the trolls and these little elves and these insects which glow in the dark, they are wonderful little emotional outbursts in an otherwise rather serene and one could almost say romantic musical setting, as much as one would consider music of the 21st century very romantic. It is played by a Mozart-sized orchestra because the commission was such that this piece would be played within the frame of a few Mozart concerti, because I wanted to show how one thinks of the fiddle these days and obviously how a great master like Mozart was treating it as an instrument. I'm extremely pleased with the outcome of the piece because once again it highlights the singing quality of the violin, and there are wonderful moments of new colors in the score which only Rihm could actually think up. It's a piece which is more in the conventional shape of a real duo, where actually the bass starts presenting its cadenza and theme, and the violin then takes over, and whenever he has a brilliant musical idea in the bass, the violin would just step aside and listen, and vice versa. So this piece has enormous, I would say enormous rhythmical muscle, and shows a highly virtuosic and very flashy aspect of the bass, which one commonly knows as a wonderful foundation in the symphonic repertoire, but not so much as an instrument capable of doing literally somersaults. The next piece, the third one on that recording, is the wonderfully lyrical Dyade by Wolfgang Rihm. Dyade by no means means the usual dialogue. Dyade means actually in this case, and as he likes to point out, more an organism which has grown from one entity into really wrapping around 2. So wrapping around 2 people, wrapping around 2 instruments, making them one. It's an organism which is ever flowing. It's a piece which never really takes hold in listening to the other. It's pretty much like some old couples know how the other one ticks and are able to finish a sentence of that very one loved person. So I'm literally finishing sentences for Roman, and he is thinking sentences for me. a piece which is extremely interwoven and therefore also very difficult to record, because at the end of the day everything has to line up. But there's a microcosmos of little thoughts and ideas which you carefully have to listen to in order to, although you are constantly talking yourself, it's really like in a great human relationship, I guess. It only works if you carefully listen, but still not forget who you are yourself and make sure that you put your foot down where needed. Sebastian Currier is a New York-based, fabulous young composer, I dare say, although I think he's 2 years older than I am. A composer whose works I have admired for decades, whose works, chamber music works, I have also premiered and performed around the world. The first one was Clockwork, piece for violin and piano, and the one I had commissioned and then also premiered, also played in New York, was Time Machine, actually also a recording of that very wonderful piece by Sebastian Currier will be released by Deutsche Grammophon as part of this 35 years anniversary box, which I'm very, very happy and grateful, because it shows 2 pieces by Sebastian Currier, not only world premiere in New York with New York Philharmonic and Alan Gilbert of Time Machines, but also that chamber music work, which I wanted just to highlight in the box so that we have 2 totally different treatments of the violin. Time Machines deals obviously with time and our perception of time. There are 7 different movements. There is compressed time, there's overlapping time, there is forward movement time, there is reverse time, and all add up to be a rather amazingly virtuosic and wonderful account of the more, I would say, of the more flashy and rhythmical aspects of the instrument, the violin. Although, having said that, we do finish the piece with a wonderfully serene movement, which then ends in a morendo. So I couldn't be more happy with these 4 pieces, which were given to me, trust fully by the composers, and I hope Roman and I and my other musical collaborators have done justice to them. I very much hope you enjoy them, and I'm thrilled that Deutsche Grammophon has made it possible to record all 4 of them, because this is what my life is mostly about. It's enlarging repertoire, it's exciting the listener for new repertoire, because I'm excited about it, and so should you.